Hey, what's happening, guys? I'm just doing a quick review here today. A little backstory real quick. I went to GameStop and picked up Castlevania Lords of Shadow for 25 bucks, something like that. And played the first couple levels and was like, what the fuck is this? I had just played Dracula X on the SNES. Excuse me. And I missed Castlevania, the whole series. I'm a big fan, and so I went and brought it back after I was disappointed with the first like 4 or 5 levels of Lords of Shadow, and traded that back in. Got my refund actually. Bought Microsoft points and went and picked up Symphony of the Night on Xbox Live Arcade for $10 or 800 points. And here's a quick review for Symphony of the Night. Totally worth 10 bucks. I just want to say that right off the bat. If you're any sort of fan of the series or Metroid or anything, pick this game up. It's totally worth it. The story is good. It doesn't stray from the Castlevania story, which other more recent games have, which is a pain in the ass. Some people like Simon's Quest. I wasn't a huge fan of it, and that was they were trying to implement RPG elements in Simon's Quest and kind of Metroidvania it. It was free roam, so that's what they did here, but they really perfected it for the Castlevania gameplay style. Like I said, the story's good. It doesn't stray away, so that's an 8 out of 10. The gameplay is classic Castlevania mixed with a couple new tricks, with some magic spells, because you're Dracula's son, so you're kinda, Alucard is Dracula's son, so you're way more powerful than Richter Belmont or Simon Belmont. So, the gameplay is good with a couple added things that aren't too bad, and you don't even have to use it if you don't like it, so that's why I really like the gameplay. You can play it like a classic Castlevania. So the gameplay is a 9 out of 10 because I love Castlevania 2D platforming, side-scrolling, gameplay. So that is a 9 out of 10. The concept and art design is fantastic. The sound is spectacular as always. Castlevania does have some great soundtracks. Dracula X is probably the best soundtrack out of all of them, or Rondo of Blood, or whatever you want to. But I grew up with Dracula X, so that's what I'll call it. That is one of the greatest soundtracks. Richter's one of my favorite Castlevania guys. And, but the soundtrack is great. It's not Dracula X, but it doesn't need to be. It's really good for what it is. The replay value is great because there's so much in the damn game. Once you beat it, the castle flips and basically turns into an entire new castle that you got to play through again. You can get Richter, you can get a bunch of different characters, and play the game completely differently. So the replay value is pretty damn good for about a 10-hour experience, and then double that. And if you're a completionist like myself, you will love this game, and you will dig hours and hours into it, trying to get that 200.6%. The achievements there's not many, but I'm not a big XBLA guy, so I don't know what the achievement, like the norm for achievements for XBLA games are, but they're pretty good. I mean, you really got to play to get all of them, but that's a little thing for me that I like. Like I said, I'm a completionist. I check every corridor, every hallway, every wall to see if it breaks down, and if you like stuff like that, then you'll love this game. I highly recommend it. And, pretty much, I just want to do a quick review and say, go pick this game up. It's totally worth 10 bucks. It's on the PSN, too, I think. And, I'm pretty sure it's 10 bucks there, too, and it's just totally worth it. And don't buy Lords of Shadow, what a piece of shit game that is. And instead, go bring that back and go get Symphony of the Night. Totally worth it. Metroidvania at its prime, and, way better than any of the Game Boy Advance games or any other. This is probably one of the best Castlevanias of all time, in my opinion. I liked Rondo of Blood and Castlevania Dracula X a lot, though. So those are probably my number one or number two if you consider them different games, which they are. But Dracula X probably my number 1, but number 2 has got to be Symphony of the Night. I love Alucard, and you could play with Richter with the vampire killer, which is the whip. When you beat it, and there's just so much to this game. It's not a simple 2D linear platformer. It's Metroidvania, which, for those of you who don't know what Metroidvania is, it's instead of being a completely linear side-scrolling 2D action game like the traditional 80s and early 90s Castlevania games were, it's free to. Well, everything but Simon's Quest. Simon's Quest wasn't completely linear, but this is you're dropped in a giant castle, and you can go wherever you want. And also, I should say, it's an RPG. You level up, and you get much stronger. You find items. There's a bunch of hidden stuff, and like I said, for me, a completionist. But there's no grind. It's not like an RPG where you gotta sit in a room, kill a bunch of guys, leave the room, come back and do that 50 fucking times just to beat a boss. I mean, there's a couple points in the game where maybe if you're not that good you have to do that, but there's usually a technique you can use to beat a boss. And, yeah, the achievements are pretty good, and I just overall say it's a damn good game. It's 9 out of 10 for me. I mean, classic. One of the best Castlevania games of all time. It's just one of my favorites, and I totally recommend for $10. I'd probably pay about $25-30 for this game. I tend to pay about $2 an hour. That's my little scale, and it's definitely worth $10. So go pick it up if you like Castlevania. You'll love the game. And if you played it when it came out, like I did, and you haven't seen it for 15 years, then go buy it, man. It's $10, totally worth it. And don't buy Lords of Shadow, and you'll be disappointed in that piece of shit game. Quick little rant about Lords of Shadow. I mean, come on. The what do you call combat system, it worked okay, but when there's a game where you are always killing people, and there's no effect from you don't feel like you're hitting something, when there's no after effect from hitting something. It causes damage, but it doesn't move back, nothing. They'll continue hitting you if they're big enough, which is the majority of the monsters that you won't one hit. And I was playing that hard, and it's just not. And the platforming part, which is a huge part of Castlevania, sucked compared to some of the other platformers of these days. And I just I'm almost I guess you'd say a Castlevania purist, and I seem like one, and I hate being that kind of guy, but yeah, it's just, I really didn't like Lords of Shadow that much. It just, I mean, maybe if it was a standalone game, I might have liked it, but I got bored within the first 2 levels, and I thought it was going to pick up. I got to where everybody said it would pick up, and I just didn't, there's nothing keeping me back, and I was just miserable playing it. And I feel like any game you have to try to like sucks. So I had to try to like it, and it sucks. So alright, that's my review. Castlevania Symphony of the Night is a buy. It is a 9 out of 10. Total classic. Totally worth it. Go pick it up. Thanks for watching, guys. Take it easy.